All right, welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Comics. This time I'll be showcasing my top 25 CGC graded comic books. First time doing sort of a countdown video with my comics, although a couple years ago I did do, I guess, a comprehensive CGC book showcase, but those weren't in any particular order. And I quite enjoy seeing other people's collections like this on YouTube, so I figured I would throw one together myself. And starting off, coming in at number 25, is a recent CGC return. This is Marvel Star Wars number 42. And this is the first appearance of Boba Fett in comic books, Marvel Comics. But there is some debate about that because, and I knew I had a copy of this somewhere, so I went and dug it up. But I believe the publication date for this might be a little bit earlier than this comic here, but as far as price goes, the Marvel 42 carries a little bit more of a premium than this does, CGC graded. But I am going to send this in, I think, because I did give it a once-over, and it looks pretty good. So anyway, this technically might be the first appearance of Boba Fett, and Lando and Yoda, for that matter, because that collects the entire movie adaptation in one volume. But Marvel 42 here is probably the more popular of the two. And coming in at number 25. Up next, I have a CGC Signature Series book of Detective Comics number 1000. This is the Alex Ross variant cover, and he also signed it right there. And I really like this cover swipe from the first appearance of Batman way back in Detective number 27, a long time ago, to say the least. So this one came out in May of 2019. And it's a nice 9.8 copy. And then another signature series here. My copy of Spawn number 1, signed by Todd McFarlane. You know, there's a zillion copies of these Spawn number 1s out there from Image Comics, but it's becoming more popular. So it has crept up in value a fair amount over the last several months. Okay, so checking in at number, where am I at? 22. It's my first Bronze Age book here, and this is Marvel Premiere number 15, the origin and first appearance of Iron Fist. Now, when I first started collecting Bronze Age books, several years ago, I decided on the 8.0 grade as the best combination of value and book quality. And even though they're totally unrelated, but I also collected 70s sports cards in a PSA 8. So I don't know, but that's kind of like why you're going to see a lot of my Bronze Age books in an 8.0 grade, although I've kind of deviated from that a little bit recently. So anyway, first appearance of Iron Fist, and this was a book I purchased, I think, for less than $300. Whenever it was, I bought it. And there was a known Netflix series on the way. And unfortunately, the series tanked, and this book did so along with it. It kind of didn't really do much for a few years, but it's come up quite a bit. In fact, I think I have this one at around $700-ish price point. So we're going to see Iron Fist again, although I think they're going to change the actor that played him in the Netflix series. Moving on, and coincidentally enough, the next one up here is Iron Fist's partner in crime, Luke Cage, in the origin first appearance in Hero for Hire number 1 from June of 1972. And this would be number 20, Marvel Premiere number 1, the origin of Warlock, a character I think we are going to see sooner than later in the MCU. I think he might have been, I forget now, but he might have been teased at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy film, the last one, I think. So, yeah, character we're going to see again. And coming in at number 19. And it's a more recent book, a book that I picked up, one of a few books I picked up when I took a hiatus from buying sports cards around February, March, because of all the irrational exuberance going on in the sports card market. So I kind of pivoted over to some comic books, and this was one of them. And this is Invincible Iron Man number 9, becoming more of a significant key book because this is the first full appearance of Riri Williams, or Ironheart. And we're going to see her in, I guess, the next Black Panther movie, make her MCU debut, and she's already been cast in to a television series for Disney Plus. So what I think would be really cool about this potential series or this character is that they somehow maybe get Robert Downey Jr. back into the MCU as the AI for the suit that she's going to wear. Kind of like cool to have him sort of return in that regard, even though he died in Endgame. But this is from July of 2016. Riri, I believe, made her first civilian appearance in number 7, but this is the book to own from from a key spec book standpoint. Moving on, another bronzer here. Conan the Barbarian number 1 from October of 1970. Got the white pages on this one. My first of 2 Silver Age books from December of 1965. Fantastic Four number 45. Now here's a book that I bought kind of at its peak at the time because there was a scheduled series for this group of Inhumans. This is the first appearance of them. And I do recall paying out like around $615 for this book, but the series tanked, and so did the book. But it has come back. Now, I know there's a movie on the way. I'm not all that excited for it, but nevertheless, this value did recover somewhat, and I have this one in at around $800 in a 6.5 grade. So off-white to white pages on this one. Fantastic Four, number 45. Another recent return from CGC, my copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 238 in a wonderful 9.6 grade, because I bought this several years ago, and I paid around $40 for it, I believe. So to get a 9.6 in this after having been sitting around for years is pretty good. I'm not going to bother, cracking and pressing. None of the books I sent out for grading were pressed ahead of time, and I mentioned that in those videos where I showed those books. And so this is one of those I'll just leave well enough alone. So, Amazing Spider-Man. First appearance of the Hobgoblin from March of 1983. And we haven't seen the Hobgoblin yet. And I'm not sure when we'll see him, but I imagine at some point we will. Okay. Another book purchased during my sports card break. This copy of the Young Avengers number 1. And this is nearly 10-year-old. No, actually, this is more than that. April of 2005. And the groundwork has been laid for this to become a thing in the MCU, whether in the form of a Disney Plus TV show, I guess that's probably most likely, or maybe even a film, because we've seen some of these characters already introduced in various, MCU things, like WandaVision and even Loki, and we have the Hawkeye series with Kate Bishop coming out, which looks pretty good. So, Young Avengers number 1. 9.8 from April of 2005. So this puts us at number, 14. And it is another Bronze Age book. One of my favorite covers. This Batman number 227, which is a classic Batman cover from the Bronze Age. Neil Adams artwork here, 8.0 grade, and have the off-white pages. So no key appearance here, nothing really significant other than the fact it's a very popular cover and it's Neil Adams. So that's why it carries somewhat of a premium. Okay, another Bronze Age key, Amazing Spider-Man number 101, featuring the first appearance of Morbius. And I don't know what the story is with this character. I think there's a film in development or something going on, and I want to say that Jared Leto is going to play Morbius in something. But this is a key book. This has the cream to off-white pages from October of 1971. Up next is my very first graded book purchase. And I always wanted this book. And when I jumped into buying graded books, this was the first one. It's X-Men number 94. And this is the new X-Men Begins, and basically the new team and the ongoing series. And I paid $500 for this, something like $475 to $500, and it kind of just sat at that price point. In fact, it went down to like around $400 at some point, and then it's come back a fair amount. Not unlike what happened with sports cards in like February, March. The similar thing occurred with comic books in like April, May, and June. And this one has gone up to, I have it at a value of around $1,800. X-Men 94 from August of 1975 with the white pages, which, I guess there's some debate whether, how important is the white pages versus the off-white to white or lesser. Some people don't really care. Some people will pay a premium for it, I guess, but I'm just like, whatever. Okay, my other Silver Age book. I think this is the only one remaining. It's my copy of Fantastic Four number 52, featuring the first appearance of the Black Panther. This one I bought around the same time as that Inhumans. I paid a lot less for this one than that Inhumans book. This one was around $475, and so whatever on paper losses I saw with number 45, I more than made up for it with number 52 here, with Black Panther becoming very popular, with excellent movie that was out. And this one, what did I value this one at? Also around $1,800. So this one or the X-Men 94 could have been in either position. And this is number 12, I guess, on my list. Okay, another recent pickup from around the spring, and I wanted to get out in front of this one because I feel like this is going to be a much bigger book than it currently is. It's already gone up in price a lot. This Nyx number 3, and this is from February of 2004. It's the first appearance of Lara Kinney, or X-23, in other words, the female Wolverine, and we saw her in the Logan film, which was excellent. And I believe I don't read X-Men comics, but I think she's on the X-Men as the female Wolverine with a Wolverine outfit and everything, but I'm not 100% certain. But I feel like we are going to see this character in the MCU sooner than later, probably as they sort of ease the X-Men characters into that. So this is, again, white pages, 9.8 grade from February of 2004, already 17-year-old book. And that was number 10. So number 9, do I have this right? Yeah, number 9 is going to be my copy of Amazing Spider-Man. And this was a book that I picked up. One of the books that kind of like took off in value not long after I purchased it. I'm into this for about $1,500. 9.8s, I did look at them briefly, but they were really, really expensive, like 3x price point compared to this one. Origin first full appearance of Venom from May of 1988. Todd McFarlane, cover art, and definitely a key book. Venom is becoming more and more popular. So I grabbed this one, and it has come back down, not unlike sports cards. This thing is shot up to, I think, close to $3,000, but it has settled back down, I think, at maybe like 20-25% higher than when I purchased it. So, yeah. Big book. It's gone up a lot. Even before I purchased it, it had gone up a fair amount in the 12 months leading up to my actual purchase. So, okay, here is an interesting book that checks in at number 8, and it is The Incredible Hulk, number 180. I'll talk about this one for a minute because the way they word this, it's almost, they say it's the first appearance of Wolverine and a cameo on the last page, which, the use of the word cameo would be by somebody we've seen before or who we already know. Like SpiderMan would make a cameo in this book, or the Avengers would make a cameo in this book. But Wolverine, this is the very first time we're seeing this character, so it's not necessarily a cameo. It's his first appearance. But, as everybody knows, Hulk 181 gets all the attention because he has the cover and it's the first full appearance. But I think as that one has become increasingly out of reach for a lot of folks, they've migrated to this book. And I purchased it for like $369. That number just kind of like sticks out in my head. So I'm glad I did. I thought about going for the trilogy. He also has 182, which kind of like closes that story arc, but even that one's gone up enough to the point where I'm just not going to even bother with it. But anyway, really cool cover with the Hulk and Wendigo there. But yeah, Wolverine does make his first appearance. And I think it's starting to get a little more attention because of that, too. It really is his first appearance in this, even though we only in one comic panel at the very end of the book. Okay, where are we at? We are at number 7. And this book, I feel like I got the last ticket out of town at this price point because literally a week after I bought it, it just started climbing and climbing and climbing. It's since come back down to somewhat more reasonable levels, I guess, but it's Ultimate Fallout number 4. And this is the first appearance of the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow made his way into that new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, because this is a very popular character, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Miles, and a very significant key book to own, I think, for the ultra-modern or the modern era, however you want to classify it. So yeah, I got this for $1,500, and it went up to, not unlike Amazing Spider-Man 300, it went up to like around about 3,000, and then it's come back down a fair amount. I'm not sure where it's at right now. What did I put this one? This one, I think 20. I got this one checking in at around 2,600. So yeah, the white page is 9.8 from October, almost 10 years now. October of 2011 is when this book came out. So Ultimate Fallout number 4. And this next one here, number 6, is kind of blown up because I believe there's a movie in development, or it's currently filming with a very popular, and I forget the guy's name. Anyway, it's Tomb of Dracula number 10, the first appearance of Blade, the Vampire Slayer. And as most people know, Wesley Snipes played Blade in one of the earliest comic book movie adaptations back in the late 90s, I think it was, at this point. So from July of 1973, off-white to white pages, nice copy here, the Tomb of Dracula number 10. I'm also looking at the Tomb of Dracula number 1, which is the first appearance of Dracula in comics, but it's not high on my priority list of pickups, so it remains to be seen if I'll grab that before the price gets away from me on that. All right, so now we're into the top 5. And coming in at number 5. So one of the, I think maybe the second graded book purchase I ever made after I bought X-Men 94 was this one here. Amazing Spider-Man number 129. And so I was new to CGC books, and not unlike when I was new to PSA card grading, I actually, in this case, I kind of bought the grade and not the book. And what I mean by that is I don't think I would today buy a book that has this kind of spine roll here. It's, I guess, off-centered, but you see it's more white up here than it is down here. Still a very nice book, off-white to white pages. But yeah, I'd be a little more particular nowadays when I'm picking up a book of this magnitude. So I'm into it for about $500. Now, again, this goes back at probably around 10 years, okay? So I've had these books for a while, but nowadays, what do I have this one at? Number 5. Looks like around 3,200-ish, give or take, on Amazing Spider-Man number 129. Cool cover with the Punisher there. First appearance. And number 4 is another, a book that's always been expensive. Even when I bought it, it was expensive, and there was no movie or anything attached to it. There's always a speculation that it would make a cool character in a film. The Werewolf by Night, Mark Spector. Now, there is a Disney Plus series that's been developed, and I believe it's coming out next summer, featuring Oscar Isaacs as the title character. It looks really good. And also, this has a blue cover, so it makes it hard to get in really high grades, I guess, like blue covers and black covers. But this is from August of 1975, and the origin and first appearance of the Moon Knight. Big, big book nowadays. Off-white to white pages. So, yeah, real badass character. Looking forward to seeing that Disney Plus series when it launches. Number 3. not unlike the Moon Knight, this character also has seen substantial gains in his origin and first appearance, and that is the Ghost Rider in Marvel Spotlight number 5. Again, the origin and first appearance of Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze. And this has off-white to white from August of 1972. 8.0 grade. Coming in at number 2 is my 8.0 copy of Giant Size X-Men number 1. This has gained a lot of traction and attention too, because now that it's a foregone conclusion, I guess all the details have been worked out to get these characters into the MCU, that we will start seeing them maybe sort of become the main team characters in MCU, because the Avengers sort of has run its course, even though there's going to be other Avengers movies. But the X-Men are certainly one of the biggest teams in Marvel Comics. So this one is an 8.0 grade. You can see there, and this is from June of 1975, the first appearance of the new X-Men, Storm, and the second full appearance of Wolverine. And this book leads right into X-Men 94. So this would be the key Bronze Age X-Men to own. Giant Size X-Men number 1. And the last book I have here will probably always be my best books. I can't envision a scenario where I buy a book that, well, I mean, I just think this will always be number 1 for me. And it is my 8.0 copy of The Incredible Hulk number 181. And this is the Wolverine book to get. First full appearance of Wolverine, and white pages from November of 1974. And when I purchased it at the time, it was the most money I had spent on a comic book. This one sent me back around $1,100, and I believe I negotiated it off eBay too. It was on eBay, and somehow I got it off eBay. But this one really took off this summer. It actually crossed over the 5-figure mark, but has since come back down. I think I have this one in at around $8,100 or so. I guess depending on what day of the week it is. But yeah, certainly the best book in my collection, and will always be that. And this book is probably to the Bronze Age what Amazing Fantasy 15 is to the Silver Age. I'm not sure if that... I mean, this book is not uncommon. It's not rare at all. But I'm not sure what year the Bronze Age ended technically, but that Teenage Turtles number 1 might be a bigger book. But, as far as... when I think of Bronze Age, I think of the 70s, so therefore I think this is the book to have. Anyway, that's it. That's my top 25 CGC graded comic books. And really nothing on the horizon for significant pickups, so I figured I wanted to wait till I got my CGC stuff back, because I knew a few of those would make an appearance in this. So I want to do this a lot sooner, but my books were at CGC for a long time. Anyway, that'll do it. Of course, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.